Janae and Kenny's family were convincing Kenny to stay in the relationship, and he was telling them that I can't do this anymore. I've never wanted to do this. I don't want to do this for the money anymore. I want to leave. You also have the fact that Kenny called Janae a black bitch, and he also stated that he doesn't even like black people, so that he's shocked that he even ended up with a black woman anyways, and he was saying this to his friends. And then Kenny's friends were basically calling her the N-word, and he was laughing in response. And the family are not a fan of her, don't like her, and basically were telling Kenny to use her for money, as much as money as he can get, and then obviously run from the relationship. And that she saw these screenshots on his phone, and after that, chaos ensued. Now it makes sense as to why Peacock, Ariana Madix all unfollowed him after all of this that they have now seen. This is demonic behavior, the psychological torture that Janae is going through, the PTSD for years to come, the financial abuse for all the money that he has made off her name. It is truly diabolical. None of this is funny. These people have real lives. It's not just a TV show. And I've heard this from confirmed sources myself. Dumois just posted something quite similar, and people have been saying stuff quite similar as well. This is why Leah and Serena called him a racist clout demon earlier today, because it is honestly disgusting. The family. But didn't Janae and Kenny go to a wedding together? Didn't Janae meet the family? But the family behind are plotting on her back. The friends are calling her an N-word and he's laughing. Him calling her a black bitch. What the hell is going on? This is demonic, man. You never can win when you're dirty, guys. You never can win when you are dirty. This is insane.
About Kenny does not surprise me at all, because a Latino being anti-black, kind of on brand, honestly. And I'm like very pro-Latina, but like being pro-Latina is like calling out the shit within our community, and our community can be very anti-black. This is a perfect example, and this is why I don't blame black women for only wanting to date black men, because it's like they're like put in these like horrible situations. And this is also why I understand why black women kind of side-eye black men who only date outside of their race, because yeah, stuff like this, it's like a lot of times when it comes to non-black people, and I noticed this, I'm gonna clock it, I noticed this with a lot of Latinas, they'll fetishize black men. You know, it's like those types of Latinas that like say the N-word all the time and specifically only date black men and get box braids. You know what I'm talking about? But it's like in the same breath you do all that and then they're anti-black, or they don't call out the racism in their family and stuff like that. Like it's just so I don't know. And I'm not saying that like black people can't be prejudiced towards Latino, that doesn't happen. I get it. But like we're not talking about that. What we're talking about is there is a very like serious like issue within our communities of just being anti-black and colorist. That the whole thing of like, you know, when browner skin Latinos, like during the summertime when they're told like, oh, don't go outside, you'll get darker. Huh? Or hay que mejorar la raza. Huh? Or güeritos más bonitos. Huh? I think it's like we really need to make an effort as a community to start calling out our shit, okay? And honestly, I just feel so bad for Janae, because she is such a beautiful, wonderful, that is a baddie, and she deserves so much better. So yeah, I hate Kenny.
Listen, we have two ways we can go about this, okay? First way, throwback old school YouTube video. All you need is a camera, a mic, a white background, and a goddamn dream. A tell-all, nothing less than 25 minutes, no edits, no cuts, no music, and you lay everything on the motherfucking floor, okay? You don't need no interviewer because you're the platform. Second option, if we got the budget, we got the time, you trying to go big or go home and leave your mark, call up Gayle King. Gayle King is going to give you the interview of your goddamn life. She's going to give you the grace you deserve and ask all the hard-hitting questions we all need to know. All right, Janae? All right, get up, girl. Get your...
Are reporting it now that not only his friends, but Kenny's family were all degrading Janae, and Kenny's family were convincing Kenny to stay in the relationship, and he was telling them that I can't do this anymore. I've never wanted to do this. I don't want to do this for the money anymore. I want to leave. You also have the fact that Kenny called Janae a black bitch, and he also stated that he doesn't even like black people, so that he's shocked that he even ended up with a black woman anyways, and he was saying this to his friends. And then Kenny's friends were basically calling her the N-word, and he was laughing in response. And the family are not a fan of her, don't like her, and basically were telling Kenny to use her for money, as much as money as he can get, and then obviously run from the relationship. And that she saw these screenshots on his phone, and after that, chaos ensued. Now it makes sense as to why Peacock, Ariana Madix all unfollowed him after all of this that they have now seen. This is demonic behavior, the psychological torture that Janae is going through, the PTSD for years to come, the financial abuse for all.
TikTok, what's up? What's up? I'm seeing a bunch of stuff around this Kenny and Janae thing, and I just got to bring up a controversy point. I'm sorry. So Kenny gets to the villa, sees Janae has no connection, and matches with her, and y'all champion it because y'all love Janae. Hear me out. Hear me out. Producers are looking at what America is saying. They're probably telling Kenny, you should link with Janae. Kenny does that, sees his social media blow up. America loves him. And he sticks it out with Janae. But he never liked her. Ladies, we don't see any correlation between Nick and Kenny. No? My bad. Because I love Alandra, and I feel like when I be saying this, y'all think I'm trying to attack Alandra. I love Alandra. If I was in that villa, I'd have been on that. Y'all rather have Nick on that. All good. But y'all don't see how these people go on these shows, connect with people. America supports these relationships. The social media blows up. Y'all can't fathom that somebody will fake a relationship for brand deals. Yet y'all on my ass. Y'all on my ass for saying no when I didn't think that I was compatible for marriage. And y'all try to call me a clout chaser. Nigga, if I would have said yes, do you know what the clout I would have had, nigga? What the fuck? This ain't about me, though. I don't want to get attacked. You know what I'm saying? This nigga, Nick, got home from the villa, had sex with Sierra, was in a closed-off relationship with Sierra, talked to Sierra for 3 weeks. As soon as he gets to the villa, he don't even hit her up. Nigga, that's called ghosting. That's called ghosting. Y'all would hate a man if he did that to y'all. But yet, because Nick is with Alandria, he is protected. Y'all see how that sun is on me? He is kissed by the sun because he is with Queen Alandria. Y'all did the same thing to Kenny. Blinders. He's with my girl Janae. Janae needs love. Blinders. Ladies. I know it's Clay. Ah, fuck Clay. But I just be trying to make sense to y'all. I really want to help y'all. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes y'all need my opinions. Don't shoot me now. I get it. Right message, wrong messenger. But hey, somebody got to give you the message.
Kenny came into the villa with the intention of scamming Janae for a whole year. If any of you have watched Love Island USA season 2, I know it's a less viewed season, but it's one of the best. I definitely think you should go check it out. The winners of that season were Justine and Caleb. Caleb was scamming on Justine the entire season. He just wanted to win the 100K, collect the bag, and then dump Justine as soon as they got off the villa. And that's essentially what happened. Him and Justine won the show together. They left the show, I think, as boyfriend and girlfriend. And then a month later, she found out he had a girlfriend on the outside the whole time and that he was just using her to win the 100K. I think that Kenny had the same intentions as Caleb. Come in, scam on the dark-skinned Black woman, because usually the dark-skinned Black women are the fan favorites, and win the 100K. And then he didn't win the 100K. But what none of them could have predicted was that the season 6 would blow up in the way that it did. Suddenly, the season 6 cast, they were overnight phenomenons. Everybody was talking about them. They came out to the outside world with hundreds of thousands of followers, even millions of followers in some of their cases. And it was such an unprecedented thing. None of them could have predicted that. And then all of a sudden, I'm sure in Kenny's eyes, he was like, damn, that 100K would have meant nothing anyway, because the real bag is out here in the real world and all of these brand deals and things and sponsorships that I need. But he knew that if he ended it with Janae as soon as he left the villa, or even a month or two outside of the villa, then all of that would go away. Because let's be so for real, Kenny is absolutely nothing without Janae. If we look at who he came in with, Nigel I think has like less than like 7,000 followers or something on Instagram. Him and Kenny would have been in the same boat. Janae literally made Kenny. All of the opportunities that Kenny got in the last year were because of Janae, and Kenny knew that, and that is why he decided to scam on that poor girl for the whole year. But I don't think that's what his initial plan was.
Hey guys, listen, welcome to Little Blackbird 91. It's gonna be interesting. Let me be honest with you, okay? We've been talking about season 7 this whole entire season. You guys have seen my commentary. If you haven't, you're new here, don't worry about it, you'll catch up. And I've spoken about pretty much every single castmate, but specifically the Black people, because that's all I care about. The rest of them, they've got their own people to sort them out. For us, the Black people. So I'm going to talk about some things that are going to be a little bit unpopular, and you're probably not going to like me as well. I've been on TikTok for the last few days, having conversations around Love Island and some of the things that have happened, and specifically, obviously, around Nick and Alandria, and obviously then the Janae situation and Kenny thing came up. First of all, let's just address the Janae and Kenny situation. We can all understand, we can all comprehend that someone could lie about the relationship in Love Island, because it's Love Island, right? As much as we keep talking about the fact that it's a dating politics, it's a dating show, which is a game, right? But people cross lines where does it become game? Where does it become real life, right? And it's really interesting because people will change the Venn diagram. I should say the Venn diagram, but the layer of the land to support their own viewpoints. Okay. And so I would say this first and foremost. No one could have predicted. Oh, no, I'm not saying that. People did predict, but you're not predicting that, right? That Kenny's going to be racial, hates Janae pretty much, from a racial perspective. Now, I can see him not liking her and still trying to date her. I can see that, because clout is a very dangerous thing, number one. Number two, that's nothing. What he would have done is nothing new. There are YouTube couples who are sleeping together still, and they don't even like each other, but the money's still good. There are people on Instagram, there are people on television who are sleeping together, doing business together, and they don't like each other, but they're still together. It's nothing profound. But to do this when you hate someone's race is crazy. Oh, I still understand the crazy mindset. I don't agree with it at all, and I think it's nasty, and I think it's a little bit demonic. I'm going to say that. To hate her race, to hate our race, and still want to date her, he put his fame and his clout above it all. And this is why the Bible said, I don't even want to go biblical. Wow, I didn't want to go biblical, but we're going to go biblical. It's why the Bible says that you can't serve God. And he never said you can't serve race. He didn't say, no, you can't serve fashion. He didn't say, no, you can't serve the God of sex. He didn't say, no, you can't serve this bit. He said, you can't serve mammon. Now, the craziest thing is that he was willing to lay everything on the line, even as a racist. Even as a racist, he was willing to put it on the line simply because of fame and money. So when they say money answers all things, it even answers racists who want, no doubt, to use somebody to get to somewhere. Because let's be honest, the last few seasons, specifically on Love Island USA, which is why I like watching USA version, is because black people do have power seemingly on these shows in the US version. In the UK version, baby, I've stopped watching them. Okay, it is a if we're saying anything's a humiliation ritual, that's the one I'm talking about. That's a humiliation ritual. But at least in the US, we are seeing there is some level of power for black people. The women get black men that seemingly like them, you know, and it seems like a fairer shout, right? So for obviously Kenny to come in and to see a power dynamic, because that's what he saw. He saw an opportunity. Saw that Janae had been in there for what? I think they had. Listen, when he went to Casa Amor after 3 days. Am I correct? Please, someone correct me. If you watch season 6, you know exactly what I'm talking about. He went to Casa Amor after 3 days. They never even really had an opportunity to actually have a real true connection, right? He went to Casa Amor after 3 days, brought another chick back. Okay, and Janae was like, I can't believe that I was loyal to you after 3 days. But I'll digress and come back to that later on. I will come back to that later on, because when I tell you guys about this kind of behavior, you be telling me I don't like black women, I don't like dark-skinned black women, I hate them. Not you guys. They know who they are. They know who they are. Not you guys. You guys are cool. You understand? But when we call out this behavior, they'll tell you hate black people, and it's like, no. When you're seeing behavior, you have to call it out. You know what I'm saying to you? But cool. All right, cool. So for him to want to lie, I can get it, because again, money's on the line. For him to want to lie, I can get it, because you know, at the end of the day, when they finish a show, there's brand deals. Companies are reaching out to them. Jeremiah came out and had 2 million viewers, people following him. That's how crazy it is, right? Jalen came out, 2 million views. You know what I mean? 2 million. So like, there is a lot on the line on stake for this. And of course, that's season 7. Obviously, season 6, he had a chance to watch a little bit, because again, he was a bombshell. He wasn't in the show from the very beginning. He was a bombshell who then, in that space, had an opportunity to see the game and went after who I call the lamb that was left out, which is Janae. Because at that point in time, season 6, obviously she had an issue of Connor and didn't necessarily work out too well. Coye earlier on too, and then obviously then Kenny comes in and she makes a beeline for Kenny. Kenny makes a beeline for her. I can't remember who went up for who first, but anyway, they end up doing their thing. Okay, all right. Now in that space, he obviously then knows he doesn't like black women. He knows he doesn't. Listen, if you're gonna be racist, you be racist on your side of the town. That's fine. You want to be racist? You be racist on your side of town. I mean, no one should be racist, but I'm just saying, if you want to be racist on your side of town, you don't have to come and get me. But he saw opportunity. Okay? All right? He saw opportunity and decided he's going to come and he's going to win. He'll do it at any cost, even at the cost of his own values. That's real racism right there. Even at the cost of his own values, he don't mind using you. Now, do you know what the biggest issue is? The biggest issue is that he got found out. Yeah. Because how long was he willing to ride this for? I don't know how long was he willing to ride this for. We don't know. Right? He would have got away with it if the group chat hadn't come out, right? So was he going to find an excuse? Was he going to quit after the Beyond the Villa? How long was he willing to ride this out for? You know what I'm saying to you? Right? But that's what racism will motivate you to do. You don't care about that person so long. You're willing to stay in a situation with someone that you don't like, you don't rate. You know what I'm saying to you? You know what I mean? And you stay in it. Yes, no, his biggest issue is that he did it. But what I'm saying to you is, his biggest issue is that if he had never been found out, there could have been something else. You know what I'm saying to you? It would have been something else. So in this situation, I'm like, so what else would you have done? Where else would you have taken it? How long would you have gone on for? You know what I'm saying to you? Because you weren't gonna. We don't know when you're gonna stop. Now, of course, we've seen lately that the videos have been a little bit disassociated. But how long was he willing to go for? How much did he want to suck the? And it's not like he was even necessarily quote unquote being abusive towards Janae. It wasn't necessarily being evil towards her. Let's be honest. He wasn't necessarily doing that. We never heard any of those stories. But what he was willing to do is that he was willing to use her like a milk carton. Gosh, he was willing to use her. I say milk carton, like he was ready to hug the milk. You know how they say it? You know what it's about? You know, and he wanted to get as much as he could out of it. So we don't know how long it would have gone on for. We don't know. We don't know. So we're lucky that the group chat did come out. You know what I'm saying to you? We're lucky. Now look, this is why I keep saying, and it's not just about interracial relationships, it's any kind of relationship on a social platform. It's scary business. Number one, it is scary business. These relationships on a public platform are scary business. Scary business. Okay? Now, this situation with Janae and Kenny, you see how now we're all saying, lucky she ain't got no kids with him, lucky she didn't get married, lucky. We keep saying lucky. And then I'm you know me, I'm gonna beeline, because that's what I do all the time anyway. I'm gonna beeline to my situation. Okay. I'm gonna beeline to my situation. When I say I have precautions or I have apprehensions about Nicolandra, and people call me out and say whether I like black women or not, like the whole Nicolandra situation discourse, right? The whole Nicolandra situation discourse. This is what I mean. Like, see, the bad men out there, the bad ones, they're not your problem. You can see him from a mile away. He looks like a bad man. He smells like a bad man. He actually tastes like a bad man. And I'm not saying Nick is a bad man, by the way. I want to be very, very clear. I'm saying to you, the way that we're shipping them makes no sense, especially the way that Nick moved. That's why I said that it scares me, because we're all screaming now, oh my God, I can't believe Kenny would do this. And I'm like, yes, we can believe. We can believe. We can. Now, we didn't think it was going to go that far as he went to, but we know he can definitely lie. So when I'm looking at Nick and I'm looking at Alandria, when I'm saying this is a tale, this is a precautionary tale. It's a precautionary tale, not to make it as if when somebody says something, it's only because black men don't like black women. It's only because, you know, it's a white man that's doing this. I'm like, listen, baby, we're trying to say, we just want to make sure we should all be cautious. We should all be cautious. We should all be cautious. You know what I mean? We should all be cautious. Because at the end of the day, right? Especially with the motivation as to why it's the motivation behind things. We ship things based on motivation. Look, I had a conversation I was on TikTok Live yesterday, yeah? And one of the things that someone said, the way that, and I've heard people say, the way that Nick looks at Olandria, and I'm like, you know that when a man's hungry, he can look at her like that. You ever seen a lion look at a man when he's hungry? But back to Janae and Kenny. There are men like Kenny. They're not the majority of people. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it straight. The majority of men are not Kenny. I know we want to make that the narrative. Majority of men are not Kenny. Have women encountered Kenny before? Absolutely. I'm sure a lot of women have. A lot of those bastards tend to date a lot of people. They tend to do. They don't tend to stay long in those relationships. They tend to date a lot of people and cross a lot of people. Kenny is not the majority. But when you meet a demon, you meet one. You know what I'm saying to you? And I say that because I don't want anyone to feel like you're going to get jaded in this dating market. They've always been men like Kenny, bad men, nasty men, evil men. There are always those kind of people. You know what I'm saying to you? There are always those type of people. There've always been those evil people. There's evil women too. You know what I'm saying to you? We can have a fight about whether there's more evil men than women. Okay, cool. We'll give it to you. There's more evil men than women. Now we have to try and do as much as we can to make sure that those kind of men don't exist, of course. So we've got to call it out. And I love what the fact that they've said, listen, for Kenny, is if Kenny had come out and just said, listen, if Kenny had exited his relationship earlier, you know what I mean? If Kenny had exited his relationship earlier, right, and actually not said nothing, he would go away with it, you know. Honestly, it's like if Kenny had got this relationship, he would have got away with it, you know. But you see what happens, right? Pride cometh before a fall. You understand what I'm saying to you? Pride will come before the fall. So even though you had a scam in your mind, yeah, like a true gambler, instead of exiting when you had a chance, he doesn't. Yes, I do believe he targeted her a bit because I think he definitely targeted her partly as well because he was a bombshell. And also because she was also very vulnerable because actually she was actually going to go off the show, which is why I don't like these. This is why I didn't like the Nick situation with Olandria. When people are vulnerable, I don't like them situations because when you're vulnerable, you're in a more dangerous position. But yes, I do believe that's part of it. He was targeting, but also Janae too. Anyway, yeah. Let's focus on Kenny. You know, you got to be very cautious. You know what I mean? You know, in that particular space. And so that was, this is why when I'm coaching people, I want people to be in tune with their emotions. And men need to be in tune with their emotions too, by the way. We need men to be in tune with emotions, please, because this is how you have better relationships. Too many men are out here crying about bad relationships too, and it's because you're not in tune emotionally. Like, a lot of us are getting conned because you are feeling and you're being intuitive with your feelings, but you're not actually learning how to spot through actually what your wants and needs are. Let me say it one more time. A lot of people are being conned in the relationship department and they'll tell you, well, we just can't spot somebody. No, a lot of people actually don't have discernment because they're not in tune with their emotions. So when I say emotions, I mean more than emotions. Your emotions, your wants, your needs, these become your filter system. They become a filter system. And what that does is that you can actually start to filter people based upon what your wants and needs are and your emotional instincts, right? And when you don't betray, if you notice, a lot of times when people comes out of a relationship, they'll tell you, damn, You know what? I felt something in the beginning. I had an instinct. I had a gut feeling. In most of these cases that you hear someone saying, from my observation, again, I'm not going to quote like a stat. You normally hear someone say, you know, I had a feeling. I had a gut feeling. I felt something. You know, in the beginning, there was something that was coming to me. And why is it that people keep having those particular perspectives? It's because your intuition is telling you something, but you're willing to ignore it because you are willing to put your life on the line for the hope and the prospect of love, rather than listening to your own self. Something's telling you. You know what I'm saying to you? So I'm saying to you that, of course, not every situation can be sorted out. There are always going to be people that are going to be incredibly well-versed. You know what I mean? Always. You know what I mean? There are always going to be people incredibly well-versed. I'm not saying that, you know, it's going to be perfect. You're going to always spot them. No, I'm saying to you that to increase your chances of not being conned, one does need to make sure that you're more in tune emotionally and be in tune with your wants and needs to make sure. You know what I'm saying to you? Rose Desi says she doesn't date anymore because she doesn't trust herself. I hear it, Rose Desi. I hear it. And it's not easy. It's not easy. But what I would say is start getting to know yourself as well, man. Start getting to know yourself as well. Because that's where the trust comes. Listen, I've been conned before. Listen, I've had aunties con me for out of money. I've had a friend con me out of money. And each time I had to look at it and go, how did they get me? I was like, damn, I trusted them blindly. I thought to myself, someone can't ever do that to me. You know what I'm saying to you? And sometimes, and of course, it's unfortunate because we live in a world that's cold. We should be able to give people just all the benefits. We should be able to do that. We should just trust people. Unfortunately, we live in a very dark world. You know what I'm saying to you? But first and foremost, get to know yourself. Because oftentimes the people that often are doing the conning are often the things that actually trip the wires, the internal, I call it the internal alarm clock. Sorry, the internal alarm system. There are people that do certain things. You know what I'm saying to you? So it's like we have to be able to, and like I was saying the other day, I was like, the only person you can control is you. You know what I'm saying to you? The only person you can control is you. So when these situations are arising, in order so we can protect ourselves, we have to look at, okay, how's that relationship going? What do I want from this relationship? What are actually my needs here? Does this person actually meet, you know what I mean? Does this person actually meet what I actually require, what I need? So that we're moving intentionally and not by feeling. Do you get what I'm saying to you? So that you can avoid a majority of situations are because we don't actually know what we want and need. We go based on a feeling. Do you know what I'm saying to you? So when I see that, I'm like, okay, listen, we've all been there before. I've moved on feelings before, and sometimes you get it right, sometimes you get it wrong. You know what I mean? But you want to be able to use both feelings and then use what is it that I need? What is it I want? What's my ambition? What's my goals? How do I see my life? Okay, do I have those things in mind? You know what I'm saying to you? And whenever relationships fail, we go back to those relationships and we ask ourselves key questions. What can I improve on? If you're not finishing a relationship and going back over it and saying, hey, actually, what can I improve on? You're going to always blame the other party. And whilst they are the person who did the thing against you, we can't have it again and again and again. Do you get what I'm saying to you? So I always implore people, listen, it's not about blaming the person who got done dirty. It's about how do we get back so the next time we don't do it again? Because we can tell people not to do something, right? We can tell them. That's why we have prisons, right? But it doesn't stop people committing a crime. You see what I'm saying to you? Like we have prisons to stop people doing these things and to rehabilitate, in some words, rehabilitate. But it doesn't stop people doing a crime. So we got to make sure that we ourselves are looking after ourselves as well, right? Unfortunately, that's the unfortunate thing, because people will take advantage of us as well. So it's just something to kind of spot and to notice. Once you get better at just being like, I'm in control of me and me only. You know what I'm saying to you? I'm only in control of me, no one else. I'm not in control of a person. I'm only in control of me. You know what I mean? And so yeah, that's what I'd say. Yeah, that's what I'd say in that respect. Yeah. But yeah, Kenny definitely did a number on her. I definitely want to go back and watch it again. I want to go back and watch it again. I'll see if I can go back and watch it again and see if there were any signs or anything like that in that space. 'Cause I remember watching it the first time round. All I remember is that Janae was just a very anxious person. She's just quick to, you know what I'm saying? Quick to, that was all. I was like, that was one of my only thing about Janae I remember that season was that she has a bit of an anxious attachment. So she's quick to try and, you know what I mean? But, you know, I think that is interesting because with Coye, she called out Coye quickly. She called out Coye quickly and she was right? It's not like Coye was a better option. Coye was not a better option for Janae. Like he was when I say he wasn't a better option in the sense of like he was an avoidant and he was unable to really explain himself. Okay. All right. So that's why I said, like, he wasn't a great perspective. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's interesting. You know what? And I'm guessing, obviously, we will never really know because we don't know if any of the other castmates ever really spoke to her about him being, you know, fake. You know what I mean? I don't know if we could ever, do you know what I'm saying to you? So, yeah, we'll definitely have to look into that. But, okay, I don't want to talk too long. I've got to get on with some work. Yeah, we'll definitely have another conversation. But please, I am saying this from just a really, like, pro perspective. Like, again, I'm not saying Nick is Kenny, not even close. But we have to, if we're gonna say that we're scared of what Kenny did, wouldn't that make you precautious about anybody else in the same predicament where a person didn't choose anybody? I was on a live yesterday and I was explaining this, and people kept on shooting me down. I was like, it's cool, like we can agree to disagree. It's not a big deal if we disagree to disagree. Like people disagree doesn't make people disagree doesn't mean anything. Okay, all right. People disagree doesn't mean anything. What I would say is that so that Janae acts like like that's what I meant. I think she does. I would honestly I don't know if she likes black men like that because again, but anyway, I digress. But yeah, I was on the live and I was saying to them, like, when you look at Nick, for instance, right? Nick not going after Olandria, there are so many excuses people are making for Nick as to why he didn't go with Olandria. And I'm saying, like, look, it could be that he was scared and over it. But in my head, I'm like, the amount of gymnastics people have to make it look nice. Oh, Nick always wanted Olandria from the beginning. Okay, so why didn't he go for her? Why did he end up kissing Bella, Dasha, and Sierra? Like, when we start, and this is when we start going making these mental gymnastics, I get scared. Because I'm like, you can say, okay, do you know what? I'm side-eyeing Nick, but at the same time, I want him to work out. But then when we actually just like, when we actually then say something, it's like, you don't like people, you don't like black women to be happy. You don't want a white man to show her happiness and goodness. And it's like, you know what I'm saying to you? Then we don't like, you know what I'm saying to you? We look at it, it's weird. And I'm like, yo, Nick kissed Olandria. Yeah, but he didn't chase her. Imagine a man was only kissing you and calling you at nighttime. No, deep it. Imagine a man was only kissing you and nothing else. Never pursuing you. No one going after you. He had an opportunity to go after you. And then people start making excuses. Well, because Taylor told him he can't go after her. Why would he care what Taylor thinks? Taylor's not his boy. They've been in there for 2 days. If he always wanted Olandria from the very beginning, he kissed Olandria from the very beginning. Taylor and him are not boys. Why couldn't he go after Olandria from the very beginning? Does that not scare you? No, does that not scare you? So and that's why I said people are not learning. I don't think he's going to do anything like Kenny. I don't think he will do anything like Kenny. I don't think he will ever do anything like Kenny. I don't see Nick ever doing something like that. But then again, I didn't see Kenny doing anything like that as well. You know what I'm saying to you? Right? But it should scare you. It should scare you. A man that would wait, let another man tell him he can't date that girl after 1 or 2 days. That's why he didn't want to date the girl. And we're gonna ship it and be like, nah, what? Because obviously he's a white guy and he's not sure if a black woman would want him. Oh, he's not sure, but he's so sure enough to go and kiss her. No, get the frick out of it. Y'all gonna make me angry. Y'all gonna make me stressed. You lot gonna make me stressed. So he's not sure if Olandria will go for a man like him because he's white, but he's so sure that he can kiss her in a challenge and she'd want to kiss him. My God. And when we back it and say things like that, I think to myself, we're not thinking. We're not thinking. Right? And he definitely did say Bella A was his type. Oh, but no, can't a man change his type? Can't a man change his type? Oh, can't a man, you don't speak for every man. Can't a man change his type? Yeah, no, they can. So if a black man was dating white women and he chose 2 white women at the beginning and was kissing the black girl in the challenges, would you now be saying, can't a black man change his type? Would that make sense to you? Right? Would that make sense to you? It wouldn't make sense, right? All this, I get. That's why I get scared. We saw him changing the way that he dressed. Now, someone said, "Oh, he only brought 6 pairs of clothing." You're right, but it seems like, based on the editing, it seems like he only changed certain type of clothing when he was with Sierra, and when he was with Olandria. And the way that you guys are shipping the situation with Sierra, some of you, again, we're looking at Janae and Kenny, and we're not getting shook, thinking to ourselves, could this be someone else using her? He came out the villa and he gonna air Sierra like she didn't exist after he spent 3 weeks with her and was having sex with her. But we want to talk about, we're confused as to why Kenny could play Janae, and then we're gonna say this in a year's time. If anything happens, there was no signs. There was no signs because that man just loved her. You know what I'm saying to you? Now, of course, they could be both playing. What I'm saying to you, and I saw the cognitive dissonance I had on a conversation yesterday was crazy. The cognitive dissonance we had on a conversation yesterday was crazy. People were annoyed at the fact that Sierra wanted to have a conversation with Nick, and they villainized Sierra to a point where they said, "How do you know she's not going to record it? How do you know she's not going to put it on video? How do you know that Sierra's not going to twist it around? How do you know that Sierra's not going to just, do something just to get back at them?" I said, why do you not have... I am not saying that Sierra couldn't do these things, but why are you so indignant on talking how evil Sierra suddenly is and Nick can't be the same way? Oh, because Sierra done planned it from the beginning. She wanted to be on the show. She wanted to be on Love Island. Who didn't? No. When you know we're on 7 seasons, I don't care if you chose to go after it or it came after you. You're going on a national television with love being being a secondary issue, because the first thing is fame. I'm sorry. We're in 7 seasons in. Love Island ain't the place to find love. Let's be honest. The love rate ain't that great. Let's just be honest. It's not a Love is Blind. This is Love Island. You know what I'm saying to you? So it's like, that's why I'm so concerned about the way that we have this dialogue. It's like there is no room for anything else. I'm not saying that Nick couldn't be true. I'm not saying that Nick couldn't be true. I'm not going to say that. Right? I'm not going to say that. Now, what's really interesting is Nick's answers about why he stayed. Nick said he stayed not because there was another connection with Olandria. He said, I had to stay because I couldn't go out there and leave because who knows what she said? Who knows what she done? Then people think I co-signed her thing. So you didn't stay because you had another connection. You didn't stay because you had another connection. You didn't stay because you had an undying love for another woman. Everybody's there for fame in some respect. I'm sorry. Anybody saying they come on there for pure intentions, I came there just to find love, is lying. It is a TV show. Now, you may have a stronger, I came for love a little bit more, but it's a TV show at the end of the day, and fame comes with it. You know what I'm saying, Chu? You know what I'm saying? So it's everyone's there for fame. Like it's a reality situation. You're gonna lose hold about a month or two of pay to come on the show? Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. That's what I'm saying. So I'm saying not that we should, I am not saying that we should put Nick in the same basket as Kenny. Not even close. Nick hasn't done anything like that. What I'm saying to you is there are some red flags already in the fact of how the situation came. But cool, even if not, I'm not shipping them without no actual kind of precaution. I know my address. I was saying to them about the body language. I said it about his body language. I said about the way that he said. That's why Sierra has to be accountable still, because she also heard his answers and the delay that he took. But at the end of the day, he closed it off. So once you close it off, then he will be accountable at some point. That's why we have to hold Taylor accountable, because even though he didn't close it off, he knew that he didn't fancy Olandria. And I said that was mad. Why will you go with Olandria when you don't find her attractive? We said that about Taylor from the very beginning. Why are you lying to the girl? You know that you don't fancy her, bro. You don't find her attractive. So why are we there? Why are we wasting time? Why are we playing this game? And I told you about Taylor's behavior before he got with Clark. I told you that Taylor is disassociated. Look at the body language. I kept on showing you. Whenever he talks to Olandria, he don't even look in her in the eye. He looks away. He looks away. Right? Everybody's there for fame in some respect. In some respect, everybody's there for fame. Let's just be honest. I'm not gonna lie to you. Everybody's there for fame. Okay, everyone's there for fame. And a brand deal as well. You play your cards right, you get a brand deal. That's what, especially this season. Play your cards right, get a brand deal. You know. Yeah, there's bare. I don't know what it is, darling. There are a lot of black men on this show, on this show. You know, to be fair, in the UK, we watch it a lot because we have we watch through, like, we watch and then we talk about it on Twitter. So Twitter is a massive space that we end up talking about it. You know what I mean? As well. So it's in that respect. You know what I mean? But you're right. A lot of black men do watch it. Even in UK, we watch it a lot. Every summer, we know what's going to happen. We're about to watch Love Island together on Twitter. So. That's a massive thing. But yeah, no. So it's more about being precautionary. It's more about being precautionary than actually saying this is exactly what it is. But then if Nick can prolong a relationship with Sierra, knowing that he didn't necessarily want her, we should be looking at Nick more scary than anybody else. That's why I said Nick is more dastardly than everybody else. He's more dastardly than anybody else, because everybody else, we saw them. But with Nick, nobody sees it. When I say nobody, I mean that with, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? With Nick, we don't see it. You know what I'm saying to you? It's like we know he's a nice guy, quote unquote, to say him. I don't think he's a nice. I mean, he's a nice guy. He's got manipulative tendencies like anybody else. But it's like he played Sierra. But if at the end, you know, he closed it off knowing that, and then obviously all of a sudden you just shut her out, would you not tell your girl that, damn, he just shut you out? No conversation? Damn. Anyway, look, my time is up. So listen, I appreciate you guys. Stay locked, stay loaded. We're gonna come back probably a little bit later on in the evening, talk about this stuff as well. About something else probably actually as well. So I appreciate you guys. Let me know your thoughts down below. Like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notifications of the uploads. I am really sorry for Janae as well, man. That's painful. I can't lie to you.